Welcome to One Africa. Thank you for standing with us as we bring you truth, African dignity, and African awareness. Please subscribe, like this video, share it, and leave your thoughts in the comments. Today's report is clarification of something that happened months ago, but only now makes complete sense because of recent confessions and revelations. A few months ago, something shocked the entire African continent. The new chairman of ECOWAS, who is also the president of Sierra Leone, Julius Maada Bio, made a very strong statement. He openly declared that Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger must return to ECOWAS, whether they like it or not. This statement surprised many people across Africa. Why? Because he did not speak like a brother trying to bring family together. He spoke like someone giving orders. He demanded elections. He demanded a return to what ECOWAS calls democracy. He demanded that the Alliance of Sahel States, known as AES, must abandon its independent path and come back under ECOWAS control. At that time, many Africans asked important questions. Why is ECOWAS panicking so much? Why this urgency? Why this anger? The answer did not come immediately, but today, after recent confessions and revelations, everything is becoming much clearer. For many years, ECOWAS failed quietly. It hid its failures behind long meetings and official press releases. But the rise of the Sahel Alliance exposed those failures openly. When terrorism destroyed villages in Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, what did ECOWAS do? It held meetings. When innocent people were being killed every week, what did ECOWAS do? It issued statements. When borders were burning and communities were collapsing, what did ECOWAS focus on? Elections and democracy, not security, not saving lives, just politics. Why did Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger decide to leave ECOWAS? The answer is very clear. They chose security before speeches. They chose sovereignty over getting approval from others. They chose to protect their people first, instead of waiting for permission. And what happened after they left? Did they collapse as many predicted? No. Instead, coordination between their military forces improved. Soldiers worked together more effectively. Terrorist pressure reduced in certain areas. Communities slowly began to feel hope again. This raises another key question. Who actually benefits when the Sahel Alliance fails? The African people do not benefit. The ones who benefit are those who lost control. Foreign powers lost their influence in the region. Foreign interests lost easy access to valuable resources like gold, uranium, and other minerals. Political pressure from outside weakened significantly. And when that pressure could not work directly anymore, it returned through ECOWAS. This is why many Africans now believe that ECOWAS is being used as a tool by outside powers instead of being a true voice for African people. When Julius Maada Bio made his harsh statement months ago, many people did not fully understand why he was so urgent and angry. But now something has changed. Recent confessions have shed new light on what was really happening behind the scenes. Captain Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina Faso later revealed shocking information. He said that on January 3rd, 2026, there was an attempted coup against his government. Was this coup attempt random? According to Traoré, absolutely not. It was carefully planned. It was supported from outside the country. It involved spying, betrayal, and coordination with people both inside and outside Burkina Faso. Who was involved in planning this coup? According to later revelations and confessions attributed to Paul-Henri Damiba, the former leader who Traoré had replaced, the visits made by Julius Maada Bio to Burkina Faso some months earlier were not innocent friendship visits. While Julius Maada Bio was in Burkina Faso, he publicly said he came to show concern for his brother, Ibrahim Traoré. He said he cared deeply about Burkina Faso and its suffering people. He spoke softly and presented himself as a caring friend. But according to Damiba's confession, these words were complete lies. So what was the real reason Julius Maada Bio visited Burkina Faso? According to Damiba, the visit was not about friendship or genuine concern. It was about spying. Damiba claimed that Julius Maada Bio came specifically to study the defense and security system of Burkina Faso. He wanted to understand how the military was organized. He wanted to see how the government of Ibrahim Traoré functioned. He wanted to gather information so that strategies could later be formed to strike against Traoré's government. If this confession is true, what does it mean for ECOWAS and its actions toward the Sahel countries? It means that the pressure from ECOWAS was never really about democracy or elections. It was about control. It was about weakening the Sahel leaders who refused to follow orders. It was about creating instability in these countries so that the world could later say these leaders have failed and need to be removed. Why are we discussing this story now, months after the original statement? Because the confession connects perfectly with the earlier ECOWAS threats. It confirms that the anger Julius Maada Bio showed was not random emotion. It confirms that the demands were not neutral or well-intentioned. It confirms that something much bigger was being planned behind closed doors and behind friendly smiles. But did the coup plan succeed? No, it failed completely. Why? Because of loyalty and awareness. The army of Burkina Faso remained loyal to Captain Traoré. The people stood firmly with their leader. Intelligence services were alert, and slowly, the truth began to come out. This leads to another question many Africans are asking. What kind of democracy completely ignores security, hunger, and human dignity? Captain Ibrahim Traoré once answered this question very clearly when he said that people cannot eat democracy. People eat food, people need peace, people need safety and security. This simple truth has touched many hearts across the African continent. When the AES countries left ECOWAS, did chaos follow as predicted? Number 9. Instead, cooperation between the three countries improved significantly. Outside interference reduced. Confidence grew among the people. And this development scared those who depend on having weak African states that they can control and manipulate. What is the Sahel Alliance today? It is no longer just a political agreement. It has become a symbol of resistance against foreign control, a symbol of African awakening, a symbol that shows Africa can choose its own path without asking for permission from Paris, Washington, or Brussels. This answers another question. Why did ECOWAS react with anger and threats instead of dialogue? Because control was slipping away. Why did threats replace peaceful conversation? Because fear replaced confidence. And why did spying and coup planning enter the picture? Because some outside interests simply could not accept a strong and independent Sahel region that makes its own decisions. Today, many Africans are asking one final question. Is ECOWAS truly neutral and working for African interests? More and more people are answering no. They see an organization that protects old systems and foreign interests, not African people. If ECOWAS truly cared about ordinary Africans, it would have fought terrorism as the #1 priority. It would have defended villages and innocent civilians first, but it did not. And now, as the Sahel Alliance grows stronger every day, ECOWAS feels increasingly exposed and irrelevant. This is why Julius Maada Bio's old statement from months ago still matters today. It was not just empty talk, it was a warning of what was coming. And that warning was followed by pressure, betrayal, spying operations, and an attempted coup designed to remove Ibrahim Traoré from power. But the plan failed. The people stayed awake and alert. The truth came out into the light. And today, Africa understands much more than before. People are now connecting events that seem separate. They remember words that were spoken months ago. They understand the real motives behind friendly visits and concerned speeches. They see clearly that the panic ECOWAS showed was not about unity or African brotherhood. It was about fear of losing control. The Sahel Alliance has chosen sovereignty, and sovereignty is not something you negotiate or compromise. It is something you defend with everything you have. The pressure will continue from outside. The accusations will rise. The threats may return. But Africans are watching very closely now. History is watching closely, and history will remember clearly who stood with Africa and who worked secretly against African interests. This story from months ago is not old news. It is evidence. Evidence that confirms what Captain Ibrahim Traoré revealed about the coup attempt. Evidence that the struggle for African independence and dignity is very real. Evidence that Africa's future is being decided today through courage, resistance, and commitment to truth. If you want to stay informed about these crucial developments shaping Africa's future, subscribe to One Africa. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and share this video. Thank you for watching One Africa.